Hello guys, thanks for the support. Before going to thank everyone, I'm feeling very happy that everyone is able to understand the videos, because I did not till now I did not get any kind of comment that I need to require once again or a reteaching of that particular topic of the video which I have been done. So anyhow, thanks for the support once again. Today we are going to discuss more examples on this parallelogram. So I hope so you will follow in the same enthusiasm. So let us start today's class. So today's first question here: the opposite angles of parallelogram are 3x minus 2 and x plus 48 degrees. Find the measure of each angle of the parallelogram. Okay, so let me draw the rough diagram. ABCD, in which, as they have been given, the opposite angles of parallelogram given. Opposite angles of parallelogram ABCD. Opposite angles of parallelogram ABCD are: one of the angle is 3x minus 2 whole degree and x plus 48 degrees. X plus 48 degrees, and they are asking find the measure of each angle. Find the measure of each angle. So first of all, we have couple of times we have discussed that opposite angles will be equal, right? So angle A will be equal to angle C, angle B is equal to angle B. So let me consider this for, let angle A is equal to 3x minus 2 and angle C is equal to x plus 48. As they have already given, these two are the opposite angles, so that's why I have considered for A and C. As we know that in parallelogram ABCD, not only in ABCD, whatever it may be parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. Angle A is equal to angle C, so it implies 3x minus 2 is equal to x plus 48. 3x minus 2 degrees is equal to x plus 48. Now I will transpose the like terms to one side. So 3x minus 8 is equal to 48 plus 2. So what you will get here, you will get x is equal to 48 plus 2 means 50 degrees. 2x is equal to 50 degrees and x is equal to obviously 25 times. So you will get x is equal to 25 degrees. As the measure of x we got 25. Now we are going to substitute in this and in this. So we'll get angle A and angle C. Since angle A is equal to 3x minus 2, as we got x value as 25, so substituting here, minus 2, you will get 75 minus 2, which is 73 degrees. So this angle 73 degrees. Obviously, see, if I calculate C will also 73, but let us go with the given angle C is equal to, we have been given x plus 48. X plus 48, so x is 25 plus 48. X 25 plus 48 means how much you will get? 73. So by substituting x values also we got the same. Now the other two angles, so angle A and angle B, or angle A and angle D, are the consecutive angles. Since angle A and angle B are the consecutive angles, okay, so they are on the same straight line, so there will be a supplementary here. Okay, so it implies angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees. Angle A is 73 plus angle B we don't know, which is equal to 180. So you will get angle B is equal to 180 minus 73. How much you will get? You will get 107. Okay, 107. Obviously, when you find out, since B and D are equal, because they are the opposite angles, so angle B is equal to angle D is equal to 107. Okay, so the two pair of opposites are 107 and other two pair of opposites are 73. So if you want, you can add it all the four angles, it will be equal to 360 degrees. So this is the first problem. Okay. So today's second question. So find the measure of all the angles of a parallelogram if one angle is 24 degrees less than the twice of the smallest angle. Okay. So here first of all let us draw the rough diagram. ABCD. So here, as they were given the condition that the measure of all the angles of parallelogram, if one angle is, the condition is if one angle is 24 degrees less than the twice the smallest angle. So let the smallest angle is equal to x degrees. Let the smallest angle be x. Okay. Now based on that, what would be its consecutive angle? Consecutive means if A is x, then angle B will be 180 minus x, or angle D will be 180 minus x, because in the last problem only we have concluded that the consecutive angles will be supplementary, right? So its consecutive is equal to, you will get 180 minus x degrees. So here what they are saying that if one angle is 24 less than the twice of the smallest angle, that means the other angle regarding other angle, that means consecutive angle. Regarding the consecutive angle only they have given, as per the given data here, my consecutive to this x will be, what they are saying, 24 less than the twice of the smallest angle. 24 less. So 24 less than the twice of the smallest angle. This will be the consecutive. Now here already we have considered 180 minus x, and by as per the given data it is become 2x minus 24. So I will equate these two. So let me consider this as 1 and this as 2. So by 1 and 2 here, 180 minus x is equal to 2x minus 24. Now what we have to do, same thing as we know that we need to find out the x value by transposing the terms. So 180 plus 24, 2x plus x. So how much you will get here? So 180 plus 24 means you will get 204 is equal to 3x. So 3 ones are 3 6 are 8. 2 plus 0 plus 4 6, it will be divisible by 3. So 3 6 are 18 and 2 3 8s are 24. So x degrees is equal to 68 degrees. So now we need to find out the remaining angles, right? So x is equal to 68. If you can substitute here, or else you can substitute here also, no issue. Okay, let us find out, because they are asking to find the measure of all the angles. So let us find out that. Since we got the x value 68, now what about its consecutive? Its consecutive. Here again we will get the doubt, sir. When you are going to find out its consecutive, is it required to, is it necessary to use 180 minus x as per the supplementary, the consecutive angle, or as per the given question we have to use 2x minus 24? Anything you can use. By using any one condition, you will get its consecutive. So let me go ahead, easy one, 180 minus x. So 180 minus 68, you will get 112. If you want, you can see. What was that? The second one is 2x minus 24. 2x minus 24. So here I am doing the rough work. 2 into 68 minus 24. So how much you will get here? 2 into 68 minus 24 means 68 multiplied by 2 means how much you will get? 136 minus 24, which is nothing but 112. So by using that or this, you will get the same. So, and one more thing, for example, A is x, which is 68 degrees, so its opposite will be equal. Here also 68. In the consecutive, just now we have concluded 112. So if B is 112, then D will be 112. If you want, you can add by all these 4 angles. If you can add, so it will be definitely equal to 360 degrees. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. So next question is, in the given figure, ABCD is a parallelogram and E is the midpoint of the side BC. If DE and AB are produced to meet at F, produced means extended. Okay, so if DE and AB are produced, DE is produced, extended, AB is extended, and they meet at F, show that AF is equal to 2AB. Okay, show that AF is equal to 2AB. Now let's have a look on the solution. So here first of all we have been given, so third problem, so we have been given ABCD. This ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay, ABCD is a parallelogram, that is what we have been given. So here E is midpoint of side BC. E is midpoint of side BC. Now here what I am going to do, let us consider one more point here. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, let me take G. So let me join this. Okay, let G be the midpoint of AD and join GE. Okay, now here if you observe clearly, GE will be equal to, so GE is the line joining by the midpoint of this AD and BC. Okay, so here by the known theorem, midpoint theorem, so GE is a line joining by the midpoints of AD and BC, by the midpoints of AD and BC. So here GE will be parallel to, because in parallelogram we know that opposite sides are parallel and equal. So already AB will be parallel to DC. At the same time GE will become parallel to AF. Okay, as F is the extension of the AB only, no? So instead of writing AB, I have written AF. Okay, GE is parallel to AF, and at the same time GE is equal to, I can write half of AF. So keep it in mind, this condition, GE is equal to half of AF. So by midpoint here. Now, but here GE, since GE is equal to AB, actually GE is equal to AB. Okay, because GE is parallel to DC and as well as AB. AB and DC are parallel to each other and they are equal to each other because they are in a parallelogram. Definitely GE will also be equal to CD and AB. Okay, so GE, that is why GE is equal to AB. If you want, you can write the condition that ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram, so that all the explanation what we have discussed, it will come under this. So let us consider this as 1 and this as 2. So GE is equal to half AF and GE is equal to AB. Now from 1 and 2, what we can write from 1 and 2 here? So we can write it here, AB is equal to half AF. AB is equal to half AF, and if this 1 by 2 transpose to this side, what I'll get? It implies I will be getting AF is equal to 2AB, and that is the required. AF is equal to 2AB, that is the required. Clear? Fine. Let's move on to the next one now. Fourth question now. So here it's been given that ABCD is a parallelogram and P and Q are the midpoints of the sides AB and DC respectively. ABCD is a parallelogram, P and Q are the midpoints of the sides AB and CD respectively, and show that PBCQ is also a parallelogram. PBCQ. So that means if I can join this PQ, so that figure what I will be getting, that is also a parallelogram. PBCQ is also a parallelogram. That is what we have to prove here. Now see, given here we have been given ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram. So here P and Q are midpoints of AB and CD. P and Q are the midpoints of sides AB and CD. Now here, okay, let me write join P and Q. So P and Q are the midpoints of the sides, right? So in the parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. So AB is equal to CD. Now here what I am going to do, multiply by half on both sides. So half of AB is equal to half of CQ. See, P is a midpoint of AB, so you can write PB or you can write AP. Similarly, Q is a midpoint of CD, so you can write QC or QD, right? So for proof concern, half of AB I am writing PB and half of CD I am writing CQ. If you observe clearly, this is the PB and this is the QC. So here clearly PB is equal to QC, and also P and Q are on the line, on the same lines AB and CD. Already AB and CD are equal and parallel. So definitely, and also PB will be parallel to CQ. So now what you will get in the quadrilateral? What you got? You can write the step here. PB parallel to CQ and PB is equal to CQ. So one pair of opposite is parallel and equal, then it is enough. So by that you can say that overall PBCQ is a parallelogram. The PBCQ will be a parallelogram. That's it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So next question. So we have been given ABC is an isosceles triangle. So this ABC is an isosceles triangle in which AB is equal to AC. AD bisect the exterior angle QAC and CD parallel to BA. And as shown in the figure, show that angle DAC is equal to BCA. So first of all, let us prove that. So I have written the given statement in which triangle ABC, we have AB is equal to AC. So when we have AB is equal to AC, we can say in a isosceles triangle, the angles opposite to the equal sides will be equal. So angle ABC is equal to angle BCA, or ACB also you can write, no issue. The point is here angle B and angle C are equal, that's it. Okay, let me consider it as a 1. Now here, since AD is bisector of angle QAC, so this is the angle QAC. So for this, AD will act as a bisector. So it implies angle QAD is equal to angle DAC. Let me take 2. Okay. Now here, exterior angle QAC is actually an exterior angle, right? Since angle QAC is equal to exterior angle is equal to sum of its opposite angles. So angle ABC plus angle BCA, right? Now here angle QAC, okay, let it be angle QAC, but this side what I am doing, instead of ABC I am going to substitute BCA because of this one. So I will be getting angle BCA plus angle BCA. Clear? If you want, you can write in the bracket. So from 1. Now here what will happen? You will get angle QAC is equal to 2 into angle BCA. Now let us transpose this 2 to this side. So what you will get here, half of angle QAC is equal to, you will get BCA. Now half of angle QAC means we can write DAC or DAQ from this 2. Are you getting my point? So half of, because AD is the bisector, that's why we have written QAD is equal to DAC. Already we have written here. So that statement I am using here. So half of angle QAC, as I required DAC is equal to BCA, so I am writing angle DAC is equal to angle BCA. So that is the required to prove first statement. Okay, first question. Now let's move to the second sub question in this. Now second bit. So we need to prove that ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram. Since as per the first bit, from 1 we have proved that angle DAC is equal to angle ACB. This angle is equal to this angle, we have proved, right? So whenever this angle, so in between these two lines, if you can observe clearly, in between these two lines, this angle is equal to this angle, then this AC will serve as, so this is in between, this is in between AD and BC, and here AC AC will be as a transversal, AC as a transversal, then what can I conclude here? AD will be parallel to BC, and already been given, we have given one statement in the question. If you can observe, we have been given AB is parallel to, I'm sorry, I have written AB parallel to BC, no, AD parallel to BC, AD parallel to BC, and we have been already given that BC, AD parallel to, so AB is parallel to CD, AB is parallel to CD, so we got two pair of opposite in a quadrilateral, two pair of opposites are parallel, then that quadrilateral will be a parallelogram. That is what required to prove. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is, ABCD is a parallelogram in which AP and CQ are the perpendiculars drawn from the vertices A and C on diagonal BD. Okay, so that means here I need to draw from A one perpendicular and from C another perpendicular. So they have been given the names as AP and CQ. AP and CQ. So I repeat again, ABCD is a parallelogram. AP and CQ are the perpendiculars drawn from the vertices A and C on the diagonal BD. Okay, so we need to show that first one. What is the RTP required to prove? In first one, triangle APB is congruent to triangle CQD. APB, that means this APB is congruent to CQD, this one. Okay, these two triangles are congruent. That is what we have to show here. Now here, from triangle APB and CQD, from triangle APB and CQD, what I will do here, AB is equal to CD. Why? We have actually, we need to write one statement, I mean given statement, that what is the given? ABCD is a parallelogram, right? So AB, as per the question, if you want you can refer, ABCD is a parallelogram. So I can write AB is equal to CD. If you want you can write the reason here. ABCD is a parallelogram. So opposite sides are equal and parallel, right? So based on that, AB is equal to CD. Next, as we have given AP perpendicular to BD, so you can write angle APB is equal to angle CQD, because we have one more perpendicular from C. So CQD is equal to 90 degrees. And at the same time, this angle and this angle we have shown. Then AB is equal to CD we have shown, and we can write one more thing, that angle PBA is equal to angle QDC. PBA, this one is equal to angle QDC. Why? Because AB and CD are the opposite sides of parallelogram. They are parallel and equal. Then what we will get? We will get alternate interior angles. Okay. So clearly by AAS congruency rule, here we have showed that triangle APB is congruent to triangle CQD. If you want, you can draw the rough diagram. at P we have a 90 degrees, so APB at P we have 90 degrees, and in CQD we have at Q 90 degrees, so CQD. So to mention the corresponding angles and corresponding sides, so it is better to draw the rough diagram. So see, AB is equal to CD, right? Then angle APB is equal to CQD, then angle PBA, so PBA is equal to QDC. So by angle side congruency rule, these two triangles becomes congruent. Now let's move on to the second one. Second one is very easy. They are asking to prove AP is equal to CQ. AP is equal to CQ. So we can use this, since already we have proved what we have proved, triangle APB is congruent to triangle CQD. We have proved this. So it implies by CPCT, corresponding parts of congruent triangles, we can write that AP is equal to CQ. Clear? So in the next question, we have been given in triangle ABC and DEF, AB parallel to DE, BC is equal to EF, and BC parallel to EF. Okay, so this is the given data. So let me write the given data. We have been given triangle ABC and triangle DEF. So in triangle ABC and triangle DEF, what has been given? AB is equal to DE, AB is equal to DE, and we have been given BC is equal to EF, AB is equal to DE, BC is equal to EF, BC is equal to EF, and at the same time we have been given AB and also AB parallel to DE, AB parallel to DE, and BC parallel to EF, and BC parallel to EF. So this is the given data. Okay, so based on that we have given couple of bits. So obviously they have given this, we have joined this B to E, C to F, and A to D. So as per the first bit we are required to prove that ABED is a parallelogram. ABED, that means that side, ABED, if you can imagine that side, ABED is a parallelogram. So here what I can write, in quadrilateral ABED, clearly we have been given one statement. What is that? AB is equal to DE, AB is equal to DE, and at the same time AB parallel to DE. So we have in quadrilateral opposite sides are equal and parallel, then it will be a ABED will be a parallelogram. That's it. So you better write the conclusion that therefore since in a quadrilateral one side of opposite pair is equal and parallel, then that quadrilateral is a parallelogram. That's it. Okay. Similarly in the second one, BCFE is a parallelogram. The base BCFE, base one they are asking a parallelogram. Here also in quadrilateral BCFE we have been given BC is equal to EF, and at the same time BC parallel to EF. So in quadrilateral we have opposite pair of sides are equal and parallel, then it will be a parallelogram. That's it. We'll write that statement and we'll wind up. Next, third one. What is the third one they are asking? They are asking AC is equal to DF. AC is equal to DF. See, here they point to corresponding points. So ABC and DEF are the two triangles, and the corresponding points have been connected. Now that side, that means ABED become parallelogram, base BCFE become parallelogram, then definitely this side ACFD will also become parallelogram. Okay, we'll write that statement. I repeat again, we have already proved ABED is a parallelogram, then BCFE is a parallelogram, So it implies quadrilateral ACFD will also a parallelogram. So when it is a parallelogram, what we can write here? When it is a parallelogram, so opposite pair of, see, AC and DF will be one side of opposite only, no? So it implies AC is equal to FD and at the same time AC parallel to FD because they are the opposite pair of sides. Okay, na? So we can directly write that because the corresponding points have been joined in the two given triangles. That is the reason. Okay, if that has not been given, then I cannot write that statement. Next, fourth bit we need to prove that ABC, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. See, we have been from triangle ABC and triangle DEF. From triangle ABC and triangle DEF, we have already been given AB is equal to DE and BC is equal to EF. These two statements were given in the question itself, and we have proved AC is equal to DF. This has been proved for the last question, right? This has been proved. So here all the three corresponding sides become equal. So by triple S congruency rule, triangle ABC will be congruent to triangle DF. That's it. Now prove that ABCD is a square, EFGH are the midpoints of sides AB, BC, CD and DA respectively, such that AE is equal to BF is equal to CG is equal to DH. We need to prove that EFGH is a square. This is the square, right? Here AC and BD are the diagonals which intersect at O, right? EFGH are the midpoints of the sides AB, BC, CD and DA. Now if I join this, what figure I'll get? Okay, as of now, whatever it may be, we are getting a quadrilateral. We are supposed to prove that this quadrilateral EFGH as a square. Okay, so as per the midpoint theorem, directly see, if I take this one, this triangle, this half of the triangle, I can get rough diagram like this: AC, O, B, and here E and F are the midpoints of this side. So EF is a midpoint of the sides E and F is a line joining formed by the midpoint of the sides AB and BC, and EF is parallel to this. So you can write here EF is equal to half of AC as per the midpoint here. Okay, so here we'll write all the given. Then EF is equal to, as I said, EF is a line joining by the midpoint of AB and midpoint of BC. So here EF is parallel to AC, and at the same time, as I said, EF is the line joining by the midpoints of the sides AB and CD. So you can write EF is equal to half AC. Similarly, now if I hide this one, so if I take the above triangle, which is ADC, there also we have a line HG which has been formed by the midpoints of the side AD and CD, and this HG is parallel to this AC. So similarly HG is parallel to AD and HG is a line formed by the midpoints of the sides AD and CD. So HG is equal to, we can write half of AC. Now let me take this as 1 and 2. So we have half AC common. So from 1 and 2, EF is equal to HG. So I have successfully proved in the quadrilateral opposite pair is equal. Similarly, I can equate HE is equal to GF by using the same technique. by using the same technique. So now I equate the opposite sides, equal and parallel. Now I came to know one point. Now I need to prove that this as our final target is this EFGH as a square. So here we have opposite sides equal, right? Now if I can prove any one of the adjacent sides is equal, all the sides will be equal, right? So since in square ABCD, because they have given ABCD is as square, so in square diagonals will be equal. So we can write AC is equal to BD. Now if I apply half on both sides, half AC is equal to half BD. Now when I apply half on both sides, half AC is equal to half BD. Half AC means I can write EF. See, half AC for EF and HG we got EF and EF and HG we got half AC. Similarly, if I can hide this, so I will get the relation between HE and GF, which we have actually written similarly, okay? But this would found by considering half BD, as like here we consider half AC, so this side will get half BD, right? So half BD means I can take either HE or GF. So let us take HE, or else you can take GF also. Already EF is equal to what? EF is equal to what? HG. So by all this we got in simple EF is equal to FG is equal to, or GF is equal to HG is equal to HE. So all the four sides become equal. Now what type of quadrilateral you got? You got rhombus, not square as of now. So we got it as EFGH as rhombus. Now we need to prove that it will be a what? Square. So to prove a square, I need to consider, I need to get it at least one of the angle as 90 degrees. So to get that, what I will do it now, see. So to prove that one of the angle has 90 degrees, first of all, before going to prove, as you know that AC and BD will bisect each other. They are the diagonals perpendicular to each other, right? So here also 90, here also 90, here also 90, and here also 90, right? So we'll consider one quadrilateral. Let me take some PQ, P and Q, that means this one, OPQE, OPQE. So here AC is, so in this will become a parallelogram, okay? So in parallelogram POQE, so in parallelogram what we know? We know that opposite angles are equal. So angle POQ, that means this angle is equal to angle E, which is equal to 90 degrees, because already we have discussed here we'll have 90 degrees, right? So as angle E is a part of POQE, and at the same time angle E is a part of EFGH. So therefore, as we got in already we have considered it as a rhombus, but let us write once again. In quadrilateral EFGH, so what we got? EF is equal to FG is equal to GH is equal to HE, and angle E is equal to 90. As we got angle E 90, we'll get F is equal to 90, G is equal to 90, H is equal to 90. Definitely every angle will become 90 degrees. So all the sides are equal and every angle is 90 degrees. Then this EFGH will become a square. Clear? We have a few more problems I need to explain. So in my next videos you can expect that. So till then, so you please watch my videos. If you like, you hit the like button, share it, and comment in case of any doubts. I'll be supporting you. Thank you very much. Thanks for your support. Bye bye.